We're with David Nobby, Creative Chairman at Droga 5 Australia and this year's President of the Direct and Sales Promotion and Interactive Juries at Dubai Links. If we start with Direct and Sales Promotion, could you tell us a bit about the Grand Prix winning work?
Yeah, actually, it was hard fought, I have to say. I think it was interesting because sometimes Grand Prix just pop up, and sometimes they're the result of a lot of conversation. And we were lucky; we had some really strong goals, and they're all gold for different reasons. And I would say a very robust debate ensued that went on for a couple of hours. And in the end, we felt very clearly that dust advertising was the way to go. But it wasn't something that sort of seven hands just shut up. There's a lot of conversation. Within those goals, we had one piece of work which we thought was really exemplary in terms of craft. We had another one we just thought was just very smart and really we thought showed a lot of discipline because the creative agency avoided being clever, and we thought that in itself deserved a reward. But ultimately, I think we were really keen on awarding something that just creatively felt fresh, but also felt like it was of this space, and obviously the insight, physically in terms of Dubai and being so close to the sand and to the desert. It just felt really smart. I'm sure there'll be questions raised about, whether it was big enough or whether it was grand enough. But from our point of view, it really represented what the Grand Prix should be, which is, something quite inspirational.
Excellent. And in general, what did you think about the quality of the work entered in Direct and Sales Promotion this year?
Well, I was incredibly relieved with the standard of the work, and I think all of the jurors were. When we before we kicked off the jury, we talked to some of the local guys about the show itself, and it was made very clear to us that its advertising is taken very seriously here, and the show itself was very passionate. So my biggest concern was that we wouldn't find enough good work, and we'd all be in trouble on the night. But I thought the standard was excellent. I mean, I've judged in lots of different countries, and generally speaking, there's a ratio which you just take for granted, which is, about at least 80% of the work tends to be mediocre or derivative, and you're really playing in 20%, and that's the work that you talk about. And given those kind of ratios, I was really surprised with how much strong work there was. I think we were all, I can speak for all the jury, I think we were all impressed.
Moving on to the interactive category, could you just tell us a little bit about the Grand Prix there and what set that apart?
The Bocacidra work, I think it was having, talking about the direct Grand Prix, the Bocacidra work was just stood out very clearly. Again, I think we were very aware of, we were trying to avoid celebrating any work done locally that was just, in a way, tipping their hat to global work. We really were looking for stuff that was invented here and was really about the place here, and or the region here. And I just think the Bocacidra work would stand up in any country, but it tapped into culturally a TV show which is really popular here. And I thought the idea was just very fresh, and it combined all sorts of ideas. There's product placement in there, there's viraling, there's connectivity. There was a couple of different pieces involved. It's a very cool piece of work. We liked it a lot.
And just finally, have you got any tips for people entering next year, what they should remember to try and do as well as possible?
I think having gone through a lot of work, my tip would be there's a very strong local regional voice here, and to really amplify that and not be scared of doing that, because I think something that's really sad with a lot of global work is that it's derivative and it tries to be English or it tries to be American, and there's a great voice here, and we had a cultural liaison in the room at all times to translate some of the pieces, which we took really seriously, and I think the best work has a really strong flavour. It reminds me of the best work done in Bangkok. I mean, in Thailand, in the last 5 years, there's been some fantastic work, which is so clearly of that place, and yet has been recognised internationally. And I think my tip to creatives in this region is to really trust your voice and don't try and be anyone else. Just do what's great here.